Chuck Mikos, and my company is Precision Builders, and we do all types of remodeling and building, anything from repairs to major renovations on your home. For a few of the people that have not heard some of my background, I thought Jerry would be here today because I wanted him to hear some of this. Just a quick background of my history and my experience and where I came from and how I got into this. In high school, I took some tech stuff and carpentry stuff, and we did some projects. So that's where I got my hands wet in the construction field. And I was young, I was 16. So from there, after high school, I went to work for a few construction companies for a couple of years, and I got a lot of experience under my belt working for some very good carpenters as an apprentice. So I got a lot of experience under my belt there. I went into business for myself probably when I was 18, 19 years old. I started out, and I remember a customer, I knocked on the door, they called me to do an estimate, and she opened the door and she looked at me, she said, "Aren't you awful young to be doing this?"
I still get that.
And I said, "Well, you gotta start somewhere." But anyway, I was 18 years old. So I started the company, it was called Chuck Roofing at the time. Because I had a lot of roofing experience. I was running a roofing crew for a big company out of Princeton. And I did roofing and siding for the first 15 years of my business. And then I started to see that roofing in the winter was very difficult. And just getting jobs and getting them done. And it started to get hard to pay the bills just doing roofing in the winter. So I did have the background in construction, so I branched out. I started doing other types of jobs, bathrooms, kitchens, basements, whatever. And I changed the name at that point to Chuck's Home Improvements. That was probably in the mid-90s, I would think. And I was Chuck's Home Improvements till about 3 years ago, when I took on my nephew as a partner in my business, who had worked for me for about 10 or 15 years. I took him on as a partner, and we changed the name to Precision Builders. In retrospect, I probably should have left it the way it was.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I probably should have left Chuck's Home Improvements, but hindsight is 20/20, as I say.
Why do you say that? You said that before.
Well, a few reasons. One, we had to put up all the money to do all the stationery, advertising, and everything that goes along with changing the name. And secondly, I have a feeling that some people that hear, well, you changed your name from this to that, some people may look at that as a negative thing. Why did he change his name? Maybe he had problems. It was nothing like that. The only reason behind it was that I wanted my nephew to feel that he was, really a solid partner in this and not just on paper. And he agrees. I still get calls from people that, call Chuck's Home Improvements. I actually I still have a Facebook page on Chuck's Home Improvements. Signs out there somewhere. Anyway, that's my background. That's how I got to where I am today. And, we run a small crew. We do one job at a time. There was a time that I was running 3 crews. I had like 10 guys going. And what I found was that quality control was really an issue when you're having that many guys working. I'm running from job to job, checking on people. I lost a few good customers because of quality control. And I decided at that time I really need to supervise everything that's going on and make sure it's getting done the way I want it to get done. That's the way I build my business, on customer satisfaction. So I downsized. I knew I would take a little hit from the financial end, but I knew in the long run it would pay off because I'd have steady and loyal customers that are going to refer me, recommend me. And it's worked out pretty good. So what we do now, me and my nephew Jim, is we do mostly remodeling. We do some addition work. We do all types of carpentry, painting, gutters, siding. We still do the roofing, but we don't physically do the roofs ourselves. I have another crew that I bring in to do the roofing. They can knock out a whole roof in one day where it would take us 5 days to do it. And we just did one for Dave.
2, and they did a nice job.
They came out very nice, and this guy, we've been using it for several years now. And, you know, Jim does all the physical work with our other guy, and I take care of the business end of it. Physically, I can't really do a lot of it anymore. I have some issues that prevents me from doing a lot of physical end of it. So I take care of the business end of it, and Jim runs the jobs for us. Again, what we do is mostly remodeling. I had someone call me just yesterday about a plumbing job. We do some minor plumbing work. You know, we can replace the guts on the toilet or even replace the toilet. But when it gets into major pipes, plumbing, running a whole new bathroom, we have a plumber that used to be a member. We use him. There's another plumber I use. On the bigger jobs, if we're doing a whole basement or something, we have a licensed electrician that we bring in that I've been working with for 30 years. So we sub that stuff out because we're not licensed for electrical or plumbing. We're only licensed to do the construction and the carpentry end of it. So we do have subs that we bring in for that stuff. Most of the work, 75, 85% of the work, we're doing ourselves.
You didn't say anything about decks.
We do decks, you know that.
Oh, I know, but the people here don't know.
Well, we do decks. Decks is actually one of our specialties.
That's
We do
why I was
very
saying,
large deck
beautiful.
work. I guess that was 400 square feet or something.
Is that
400 square feet. was-
400,
Yeah.
16 by 60, that,
Very large deck.
Let's put it that way.
When Jim worked for me, as I said, for like 10 or 15 years.
It's 1,000
Then
square
he
feet.
went out, he branched off from me, and when I was running these crews, and he went to work for a deck company. And that's all he did for 5 years was build decks. So when he came back to me, we partnered up. Obviously, decks was what he was really talented at, and he excelled at. So decks is one of our specialties. Obviously, roofing, I still oversee the roofing projects. I'll still go out there with the roofer and tell him what I want. I'll make sure it's getting done. Roofing was my specialty, so that kind of things we've done a lot of. We've done a lot of basements. Recently we're doing a lot of bathroom remodeling, and we can do that from the ground up. Kitchens, I can help with the whole process of sitting down with you, coming up with a plan, a drawing. I can help with the drawing. I've sat down with customers and homeowners at either Home Depot or Home Supply and help them come up with a drawing or a design that works for them. And I help my customers through every phase of the process from start to finish. And there's a lot involved.
So when you just mentioned Home Supply, I know has really good quality materials.
And we pay up for it. but-
You pay for it, you pay for it, really quality materials. Is there a difference between the cabinet itself, the kitchen cabinet that you buy at Home Supply and the cabinet that you buy at Remodeling?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're gonna pay up. The quality of it, the way the joints are put together, the way the wood is made and compressed, there's a huge difference. If you're gonna walk into Lowe's or Home Depot and buy something off the floor, you can get that really cheap, but, you know, it's only gonna last 10, 15 years. If you buy something that's custom made at Home Supply or Milliner or someplace like that, you're gonna get a cabinet that's very good quality, it's gonna last 30 years. So yeah, it's like everything else, you get what you pay for.
You said you did basements, and you know my issue. So do you guys do masonry as far as if the basement is damp? Because you know I have that
We
issue.
do
That
minor masonry work. We can do repairs, we can replace a few bricks, and we can dry lock your basement. when it comes, we did a sidewalk for you, I think, one time.
Yep.
You can do areas of sidewalks. But, when it comes to the bigger masonry jobs, that I would refer to a mason.
Okay.
I had one I was using. Currently, I just started using another guy, and he does, if we're doing addition, he'll do our foundations. He'll come in, he'll do the foundation wall, and we'll take it from there.
So what's the smallest job you guys will do?
Oh, he did a small part of our side, in our township, our sidewalks raised, so he did.
I've been known to go out and replace a barrier and smoke detector. So there's no job too
What
small.
about brick pouring?
We do some brick pouring, as long as it's not like the whole building. I don't think we get into that, but if it's not a brick pouring chimney or here or there, we can definitely do that. Minor masonry work. And I don't know how much time I had, but I did want to touch on something since we're coming into the winter months. I wanted to mention gutters. There's this thing called ice damming. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the term ice damming,
Okay.
which occurs when you get ice and snow built up either on your eaves, behind your gutters, or behind your chimney. You have a cricket sometimes, or you don't have a cricket, you get ice and snow built up back there. So you got all this cold outside that's keeping the stuff solid. It's not melting. But you got heat from inside the house. What happens is that ice and snow melts underneath. Now you got water underneath the ice and snow, and that water has no place to go. It happens on the eaves a lot because you get a lot of snow and gutter ice built up on your gutters. So that melts and it backs up under your shingles. It's got no place to go, so it comes into the house, gets into your overhangs. A lot of times you might not even know it because it's in your overhangs. It's not necessarily coming into the house, but it's in your overhangs causing damage that you don't even know about until it's rotted out, and now you gotta replace the whole overhang or soffit or whatever. So there are things you can do. You really wanna clean out your gutters before winter hits in and gets ice and snow up there. Get in there at the end of fall, before it gets too cold, clean out them gutters. I would do it at least once a year, twice a year is usually recommended, maybe early spring and late fall. Just one more thing about gutters, gutter guard. A lot of people have seen these gutter guard products. I am not a big fan of gutter guard. I've had to go out to jobs, remove the gutter guard, clean out the gutters underneath, put the gutter guard back in. They don't do a good job. There's only one or two that I've seen that actually keep the leaves out. You know, you get all these little tiny leaves, and I'm not a tree expert, but not acorns, but pine needles. They get through all them little holes. Next thing you know, your gutter's backed up, and now you got this gutter guard, right? You can't clean it out easily. So there's only a couple I've seen that actually work, and even with them, they're very expensive. You've seen them on TV, whether it's gutter owners on. They do work sometimes, most of the time, to keep the leaves out. But the problem with them is you're not getting all the water in your gutter. Most of the water's coming right off of that thing, and your gutter's not doing the job it's supposed to do. So keep up on your gutter clean out. Be careful about it. Spend a lot of money on gutter guard. Do not go to Home Depot and buy a cheap gutter guard and install it yourself. You're wasting your time and money.
So the one on Amazon isn't any good either, huh?
Which one? I mean, there's probably so many.
I'm kidding.
But generally speaking, I'm
There's
sure.
probably so many on Amazon.
Yeah.
I just think,
But generally, you're right.
no, I think it's a testament to your integrity that you'd rather have fewer happy customers than more unhappy customers.
Well, it just made sense to me.
Well, but most people, most
I
businesses.
mean, I don't know how
say
long
that.
you stay in business if you keep having
I'm
unhappy
surprised,
customers.
I've dealt with customers that exactly that, you'd rather,
You know,
rather have 10 unhappy customers than 5
I've
happy
always
customers.
said that I guarantee 100% satisfaction. I won't leave your house till you're happy. You'll have to feed me.
Let's put it this way, my guys have gone through ceilings, I was talking to Walt about it, up in the attics, $1 million homes. I called Chuck out, Chuck, please repair the ceiling. Guy, boom, taken care of, you can't tell where my guy went through the ceiling.
Right.
It happens,
Construction.
you know,
You're up in the attic, you're up in the attic. Sometimes
exactly,
you slip on a
sometimes they
board.
have stuff on top of the joist, your foot hits it, next thing you know, your foot slides off or whatever. It happens, I'm not gonna, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
But
know.
when Chuck was done, you can't tell where anybody went through.
Right.
So, yeah, to what Dave said, there's no job too small. There are jobs too big. I looked at a job last week, the guy had a barn. The barn went on forever. It was probably 500 feet long.
Wow.
And half of it collapsed. The whole thing just collapsed, and he wanted me to demo the whole half of the barn, and it was just too big for us. I don't have the heavy equipment that it would have taken. And the guy appreciated my honesty. I told him, I said, this job just a little bit too big for me. I don't have the backhoes with me, the cranes, whatever we need to demo this thing. If it was a smaller garage, smaller barn, I could definitely do it. I've done that in the past.
Now,
But-
when that happens, do you have somebody like in your back
I
pocket
don't
that you
have,
can refer
I don't
that
have
person
somebody
to?
that would do that, that
Okay.
would do like a huge, this is a huge demo job. You would have to have a lot of heavy equipment. I don't necessarily
I
have.
have somebody for that if you
Well,
have his name.
that's what I would do. I would reach out to LeTip if there's something that I didn't have somebody.
I definitely have somebody for that.
So.
All right, well,
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you.